It's always the siren.
Hard Rock.
This is what we call Thanksgiving, where we Americans pat ourselves on the back.
Hard Rock.
This is what happens when you don't have a script.
Hard Rock.
Everything I just said over the past 30 seconds is a lie.
Hard Rock.
So why do we do this? I don't know.
Hard Rock.
Because there are the things that punctuate my insane and incessant amount of talking.
Hard Rock.
And if that was at all too graphic for you, well, then that was exactly what I'm going for.
Hard Rock.
Because I can't manage my time properly, and that's also my life story.
Hard Rock.
It's Thanksgiving Day, and it's the box. Two things that really just don't matter all that much.
Hard Rock Lunchbox.
What is up, everybody? It is time for the BOXgiving Day special. Yay, everybody! Haven't done one of those in a while. It's always the siren. Always the siren. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, to my American listeners. To my international listeners, this is what we call Thanksgiving, where we Americans pat ourselves on the back for being so cool and so tolerant, because if there's anything I know about pilgrims, way, way cool. And I think it's always been funny that the thing that they tell you about the pilgrims in school is that they fled England to escape basically religious persecution, and then came here and immediately set up rules to religiously persecute anyone and everyone else. So it wasn't like they were looking for religious freedom. They were looking for religious freedom for themselves. And that is 100% a mirror in which today's America can really look through. It's something I've spent most of the year kind of talking about. When you deal with people that just address things as me and I, as opposed to we and us, you got kind of a problem. Which brings me to my thankful message, which I will get to shortly. This is what happens when you don't have a script. Well, what are we doing today? Why is today special? Why am I even here on one of the few national holidays I have off? It's true that I take one Thursday off a year. It's usually during my family's summer vacation, and I work here for you good people every Thanksgiving Thursday. Why? Because honestly, there's nothing really to do until a little bit later in the day. But more importantly, every day, every single day, somebody will stop me on the street and be like, yo man, what is the most played song or band on the box of all time? And I'll be like, dude, I don't know. Is it Craving Strange?
It's always a no!
Yeah, see, I think there's an argument to be made. And we will get into said argument a little bit later on. Also, everything I just said over the past 30 seconds is a lie. And I can do that because I'm a public figure, and this is somewhat social media. So just call me Tucker Carlson, and I'll just continue to lie to you. We'll just have a happy Thanksgiving. So why do we do this? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it's just something that we started ages ago. We've been on the air for over 9 years now, and I will tell you, as I tabulate the numbers and figures and all that other stuff, like, it really is impressive to see like how many times I've played some of these bands and some of these songs. So what we do on Thanksgiving, we show our thanks, our gratitude towards all these bands that have made the past 9 years basically bearable, because they're the things that punctuate my insane and incessant amount of talking that everyone just has to suffer with to get to the good music. That's fine. That's why we give thanks to these bands. So because for like nothing that I have done, it just so happens that the software I use to broadcast keeps track of every band and every song that I play, and all I really have to do is throw it into Excel and do a couple of fancy equations, and then all of a sudden, poof, I have a list. I do a couple of adjustments for bands that I've had to exempt over the years. Any band that has ever had a segment on this show, like a dedicated segment, gets immediately exempted from the top 20, but they do get honorable mentions. Some more honorable than others, and then I just sort of insert them into the countdown. And if that was at all too graphic for you, well, then that was exactly what I'm going for. So that's just fun. So we do that. There's 3 exempted bands, and of course I exempt my own band, Revel 9, because I use this as a platform to promote rarities and B-sides and whatever else and new songs. So I feel like it's only fair. In my defense, looking at the list, which you cannot see, we actually would have done fairly well. I think we would have come in. We would have definitely come in the top 5, and that's a lot of plays over 9 years. But I am the host, so that's just kind of how that works. There are plenty of bands here that are not the host that also made it into the top 5. But it's actually funny looking at this list that you can't see. That's cool. There is only one, aside from the exempted bands, there is only one band that made it naturally into the top 5. That's just a local unsigned band, and I don't expect it to surprise anybody once we get there. But we'll have to get there first, and in order to do that, I need to take a moment to give you my Thanksgiving Day message from the Sermon Mount that is Hard Rock Lunchbox Studios. I do want to take a moment to thank everybody that continues to listen to this show, either live or on the podcast, or in this case on the top 20 when you view it on YouTube, which is available on Strangerhood TV with all kinds of other good programming. I want to thank you for just joining me in this journey. It's not really a journey as much as it is a bunch of moments stacked together, but this time where we sort of just dip out of everything that's going on. It's certainly valuable to me, and it's certainly the one thing that I've heard over the years of why this show is important to other people, because it really does offer a stable and continuing 2 hours every week where you can just fuck right off and just not pay attention to what you're doing, engage with people that maybe you don't see all the time in the chat, have your opinions, talked about and all that other stuff, and really just have like a good safe space and a good safe time. And I think that that's super awesome. And for anybody that's grateful to me and the radio station that I'm on to have that, I want you to know that I'm just as grateful for you being a part of it and wanting to be a part of it. I think that it takes, as trite as it sounds, it does take a village to do these things and make them worth it. And it's really the only reason I can think of that we're still doing this 9 years on. So I want to thank you for that. I do have a lot to get to. I am terrible at time management, so countdown shows are always very difficult for me. They have gone one of 2 ways. Either I speed through them and then I have to just vamp a lot at the end because I didn't manage my time correctly, which is basically my life story, or I talk too much, or I pick songs that are too long and I end up going way too long and I don't finish till 2:05 because I can't manage my time properly, and that's also my life story. So hopefully you guys are just hanging around. Maybe some of you have fuzzy slippers on. You're just chilling in bed. Maybe some of you are prepping your Thanksgiving Day dinner. Maybe some of you are prepping to get ready. Maybe some of you are driving in probably the greatest traffic on earth today in the Northeast, I'm sure. And there's nothing on the radio, as we all know, and you're bored of your Spotify playlist, so it's time to listen to the box and honestly see what we have been listening to over the past 9 years. What bands have we been listening to the most? I do have a list of the ones that just missed the countdown. Maybe I'll dabble in some of those. I like to reserve those in case I'm going way too fast and need to kill time later, so that might happen. I did get in a lot of trouble for doing that 1 year before. I'm going to try and not get in trouble for doing that this year, but honestly, what kind of trouble can I possibly get into? It's Thanksgiving Day, and it's the box. 2 things that really just don't matter all that much. But thank you for being here anyway. And honestly, I think the best way to do this is to kick things off with our number 20 song. And our number 20 band. I got to stop doing that. Songs are the end of the year. Bands are Thanksgiving. So this is the 20th most played band on the box ever, which is surprising because I am kind of a late comer to this particular band, but I will say they managed to put out I think, one of the greatest records in the past 20 years. It was so goddamn good that it actually made me retroactively go back and like some of their older stuff, which I had not liked when I was, in my 20s and stuff. I was not a big fan of emo. I was a prog rock guy. So when they put out this record that I thought was just absolutely stunning, it was like, it jarred me enough that it seemed worth my time to go back and listen. And I'm glad I did. And probably because I did, we got Taking Back Sunday at number 20. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.